Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking a truly revolutionary preprint paper by Dr. Jinhyuk Fred Chung. And let me tell you, this completely rewrites our fundamental understanding of gravity, space-time, and really the ultimate fate of the universe itself. At the absolute heart of this paper is something called the active 5D feedback loop. It's a mind-bending mechanism that suggests our cosmos is essentially breathing, actively maintaining itself. If you've ever found yourself wondering about the true nature of reality and the hidden mechanics running the show behind the scenes, you are in for an incredible ride today. We're going to look closely at the dimensional interface model, which is a massive piece of the broader 5D interference-coherence field framework. So let's dive right in by challenging literally everything you thought you knew about black holes. For decades, we've pictured them as these terrifying, destructive, bottomless pits where the laws of physics just completely break down. But Dr. Chung's paper? It reframes them entirely. Instead of cosmic dead ends, what if they're highly efficient thermodynamic engines that are actually keeping the cosmos alive? Imagine them not as monsters of the void, but as active cosmic recycling plants, constantly processing and managing the very fabric of our universe. It completely flips the script on what these things actually are. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Redefining our 4D reality. 2. Inside the cosmic refinery. 3. The active 5D feedback loop. 4. The cosmic nervous system. And 5. Proof in the stars. Starting with number 1, redefining our 4D reality. Let's look at the foundational premise here, which really requires us to step totally outside our standard view of the cosmos. The author proposes what's known as the dimensional interface model. In this view, our familiar four-dimensional spacetime isn't just some fundamental container where things happen. Instead, it's modeled as a finite-elasticity dissipative interface. Think of it kind of like a thin, flexible screen, or maybe a canvas that's constantly rendering a much deeper, five-dimensional informational flux. To put that into perspective, every planet, every star, you, me, we are essentially just complex projections on this 4D canvas. Everything we interact with is fundamentally just a manifestation of this deeper interface. And this is a brilliant paradigm shift. Classical general relativity tends to model the universe as this passive, eventually dying arena that breaks down into mathematical singularities. Those infamous points of infinite density. But the 5D ICF model shows something completely different. It shows an active informational circuit. The crucial takeaway here is that Einstein's general relativity isn't wrong exactly. It's just the low-stress, resting state of a much more dynamic, living universe. When things get a little too extreme, this universe actively avoids those singularities through a process called topological phase slips. It's basically a cosmic safety valve, gracefully releasing pressure before the universe actually breaks. Moving on to part 2. Inside the cosmic refinery. If general relativity is just the resting state, what actually happens when this massive cosmic machine gets put under extreme stress? Well, to understand that, we need to look at the Planck Saturation Threshold. This is the exact breaking point where the 4D spacetime interface simply cannot hold any more information. Imagine stretching a rubber sheet. You pull and pull, but eventually it literally can't stretch any further without tearing, right? When the local informational density exceeds this specific breaking point, the 4D interface hits its elastic limit, and it just has to yield. But instead of tearing open or forming a paradoxical singularity, it undergoes that controlled topological phase slip we just mentioned. So a black hole doesn't break the universe at all. It acts as a phase stripping node. When matter falls in, the black hole breaks the total mass down into two distinct parts, the bare geometric mass and what is called interaction mass. Think of interaction mass like the metadata, or the zipped formatting overhead required to render a file in our 4D reality. The black hole just strips away that overhead, leaving only the bare geometry. It's literally functioning as an informational refinery, decompiling and recompiling physical source code. And this incredibly elegant mechanism completely prevents those messy, infinite curvature singularities, while maintaining a perfect net zero entropy. Okay, section 3, the active 5D feedback loop. Now we're getting to the most fascinating mechanism described in the paper, the true heartbeat of this entire theory. Deep inside this cosmic refinery, there's a microscopic engine driven by algorithmic intent. And I want you to really picture the sheer mechanical precision of this. It spins incredibly fast, exactly every 1.83 milliseconds. Every single time it spins, it compresses that stripped interaction mass we just talked about, and it vents it outward. This exhaust is known as the Chung flux, and it is a massive deal. It accounts for 99.9% of the vented mass, shooting out as a highly directional beam. Compare that to the famous Hawking radiation. For decades, we thought Hawking radiation was the main way black holes lose mass. But this paper suggests it's actually just a minor 0.1% stochastic, random, thermal byproduct. The Chung flux, by comparison, is deliberate, customized, and totally coherent. And this is what creates this universe's active 5D feedback loop. It's a beautiful cycle. Step 1, the core ingests and decomposes the mass. Step 2, it strips the interaction mass and vents it as that powerful Chung flux. But here is where it gets absolutely wild. Step 3, the surrounding dark matter halo isn't just sitting there idly. It's acting as a refractive lens to collimate and focus this beam, punching it right out of the horizon. Finally, Step 4, the halo snaps back, acting like a giant cosmic vacuum cleaner to sweep up any disorganized residual debris for clean reingestion. This 5D feedback loop is the ultimate metabolic cycle, keeping our universe from dying out. It's just a perfectly balanced, self-regulating machine. Which brings us to Section 4, the cosmic nervous system. What's truly mind-bending here is how these refineries talk to each other. These black hole refineries aren't isolated at all. Let this sink in for a second. Every single refinery is instantly connected to a universal structure called the Mir grid. This is a tension field of interaction mass extending via 5D threads across the entire cosmos. It functions literally as a cosmological nervous system. This one concept brilliantly explains two massive physics mysteries at the same time. First, it accounts for observed vacuum energy, what we call the cosmological constant, by explaining it as simply the baseline resting tension of this grid. Second, it perfectly explains quantum non-locality, Einstein's famous spooky action at a distance. If you think of our universe as a canvas, pulling a 5D thread in one place is instantly felt everywhere else. They are entirely interconnected. And because of this connected Mir grid, black holes act as active thermodynamic regulators for their galactic sectors. When two galaxies collide, it is absolutely not a random, chaotic accident of gravity. According to this paper, galaxy mergers are mathematically optimized, synchronized load-balancing events. The black hole cores lock in phase to consolidate redundant processing power, and as they merge, they initiate a massive system-wide defragmentation sweep, venting excess stress to restore equilibrium to the entire network. They are quite literally acting as the gardeners of the universe. Finally, Section 5, Proof in the Stars. Let's look at the observable galactic evidence proving this theory. I know, a lot of this sounds like incredible science fiction, but this paper grounds this entire 5D architecture in a rigorous forensic audit of observable data. When applied to the real world, the 5D ICF model massively outperforms standard theories, and it does it without adding any arbitrary parameters. Just look at the galactic rotation speeds of those 175 galaxies. This standard model gives us a massive error of 14.6 kilometers per second. This 5D model, it drops it to just 2.9. It also brilliantly explains 94% of the residual strain in gravitational wave ringdowns that standard relativity just leaves totally unexplained. And for those mysterious little red dots discovered by the James Webb Space Telescope, our standard models completely fail to predict their mass accurately. But this framework provides an exact numerical match, identifying them as early topological refinery seeds. The paper even forensically audits the famous 1977 WOW signal. For decades, people have wondered if this powerful, narrowband radio burst was alien contact. Well, Dr. Chung's analysis reveals it wasn't aliens. By reconstructing the exact mass ledger of the event, the paper shows the signal was actually tracer leakage from a localized cluster node purging about 2.5 Earth masses of stress into the 5D bulk. It was essentially the universe performing a diagnostic calibration sweep. It's kind of hilarious when you think about it. We thought we were getting a message from advanced extraterrestrials, but it was just the universe running a routine cosmic IT check. Ultimately, this explainer highlights a profound paradigm shift in how we view reality itself. Before we finish, I really want you to absorb this core takeaway. As the paper states, the universe is not a passive arena in which physics merely happens. It is an active, self-regulating informational circuit that continuously maintains its own coherence. We're not living in a dying void slowly fading into heat death. We're inside a thermodynamically managed, living, breathing machine that is constantly pruning and consolidating itself through that active 5D feedback loop. So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder as we wrap up. If black holes are the engines of a living cosmos, and the universe is an actively managed 5D informational circuit connected by this vast nervous system, what does that mean for our fundamental place within it? Are we simply bystanders projected onto a 4D interface? Or is consciousness itself an integral part of this universal feedback loop? It's an absolutely awe-inspiring concept to think about. Keep your eyes on the stars and stay curious.